The Human Rights Watch organization has released a report blaming government for failure to hold mining companies accountable and rehabilitate disused mines. The report states that there are about 6,000 abandoned mines across the country, and 2,300 of these mines are considered high risk. The Human Rights Watch report says that most of them are coal mines situated in the Mpumalanga province. The report states that abandoned coal mines exposes communities at the risk of injury and death. It says that it also put risks of polluting residents' water sources. The organization has made a call to government to address the toxic legacy that coal mining has on communities living near abandoned mines. Well, for a little bit more on this, we're now joined via Zoom by Philani Mngomezulu, who's the chair of the Khutala Environment Care Group. Thanks so much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Okay, fine. I can hear you.
All right, okay. Mr. Mngomezulu, I just wonder, what is it that the mines are supposed to do when they close down that they're not doing?
Thank you a million times. In fact, when it comes to, our constitution, of which is section 24, and it goes, according to our National Environmental Management Act, of which is NEMA, all the mines must comply, after mining, of which they must, rehabilitate all those mines, so that, the mines cannot be, harmful, to our communities, especially the young ones, the children. Because right here in MLO, we are losing, many children, based of this, abundance, and unrehabilitated mines, other mines, are producing, some toxic gases. I'm talking about, underground, burning, spontaneous fires that, are being left by, big cooperatives, mines right here, in Mpumalanga.
All right, so just to explain to our viewers, while we're struggling to see you, is that we know that you're under load shedding, but thank you so much for giving us your time anyway. Tell us a little bit about some of the illnesses, sicknesses that people have been suffering as a result of these toxins that you've described.
Thank you so much. Before, this, abundance, unrehabilitated mines have cost so many lives, so many lives, to, our community members, except, the dust, the pollution that, is from all the mines that are being left unrehabilitated, that have been causing so much diseases, and sickness, to our community members. I'm talking about, community members who are suffering, in terms of, respiration, diseases, your asthma, your TB, all those kinds, In fact, all in all, people here in Mpumalanga, if ever you can notice very well, most of us, they don't reach, the age, of 80 years, because we are inhaling a lot of pollution. It's no longer, just a pollution, but a toxic one, because I'm talking about, underground, burning mines that are surrounding the people of Mpumalanga. On top of this, terrible disease, COVID-19.
Is government aware of the concerns of citizens, particularly in Mpumalanga?
Yes, definitely sure. They are quite aware, We've been consulting, all these years, our mass media, we've been consulting, the relevant departments, Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, consulting, Department of Environment, Enforcement, Green Scorpions, I can name a lot of departments, seeking, for help, in terms of rehabilitating all these, abandoned mines that are costing, lives, in particular, for the people of Mpumalanga.
And what have they said they're going to do about it? Because it seems as if part of the problem is that they haven't been holding mines to account.
Yes, it's true. You know, I mean, you know, a lot of mines, I mean, they escape, you know, I mean, they are duties of which they are obligated according to the Mineral Petroleum Resources Development Act, according to the National Environmental Management Act, as well as, you know, I mean, our constitution, you know, considering Section 24, of which they suppose, you know, because after a mining closure, you know, I mean, it's compulsory according to the law for the mines, you know, to go back, you know, I mean, and do, I mean, mining closure, of which is a rehabilitation, whereas, you know, we are calling not only for rehabilitation in Mpumalanga, because rehabilitation only it robs, you know, the people of Mpumalanga. We want, you know, the so-called the triple R's when it comes to this, of which is rehabilitation, restoration of our land, so that our land can be able to regenerate, you know, life, I mean, to all the citizens of Mpumalanga.
Is there talk about compensation? I mean, a lot of people have been ill and some have died, I'm guessing.
So far, I mean, there's nothing, you know, I mean, especially that talks about, you know, the compensation about the people of Mpumalanga. We've got a lot of people, you know, ex-miners that are suffering from diseases like silicosis as well. The only people of which are highly considered are those people who are working on the gold mines, especially in Gauteng. But when it comes to the people of Mpumalanga, we are completely excluded.
So once these mines are closed, and they're not closed properly, are the communities that used to service the mines, they stay there, suffering the consequences of these toxins, on top of the fact that they're unemployed? It just seems like it's a never-ending story for them.
Yes. It's being, you know, I mean, the order of the day, you know, it's being the order of the day to us, you know, as a resident of Mpumalanga, you know. We are not employed, you know, in particular by these mines. And these mines, you will find out, you know, that they are just here just to exploit and degrade our land, of which the land it was supposed to be used for many, I mean, reasons. In particular, I mean, for human settlement, because you will find out that the people of Mpumalanga, they are struggling when it comes to the land of human settlement in particular, you know. So that is why, you know, they are forced, you know, I mean, to be, you know, situated or around these, you know, abandoned mines. In some cases, you will find out that the mines are pushing, you know, I mean, the communities out of, I mean, their, I mean, a land, you know. In particular, right here in Mpumalanga, we have experienced that. Like one of the typical example in Babala mine, it has, you know, came lately, you know, around 2008, but it has caused so much damage and land degradation. So I mean, they were pushing, you know, communities in order to surrender the land so that the mine, you know, can carry on, you know, I mean, and, you know, with the so-called, you know, bed mining.
Have you made approaches to the owners of these disused mines? Most times they own more than one mine and they're probably operating somewhere else. Have you approached them for help?
Yes, you know, I mean, let me first of all, you know, thank you, I mean, all the communities of Emelo, because we are working collectively, we are working as a team with our community members. We've been approaching, you know, all those mines. There's a mine that is being owned by one of the Americans, you know, I mean, the United States of Secretary of Commerce by the name of Goldview. So we've been writing letters, you know, I mean, speaking out to all the mass media, doing all the necessary means, you know, I mean, to get hold of this, you know, I mean, owners of the mines. But fortunately enough, we have managed to get hold, I mean, one of the representatives of the mine, but they are coming in the name of the so-called business rescue practitioners. And those people, you know, they are milking, you know, I mean, they already tried, you know, minerals of Mpumalanga in the name of rescuing the business. At the end of the day, they are not, performing their duties to the fullest. Unfortunately, the mine that is troubling, our communities in Babala is being liquidated. The one who was taking responsibility, Mr. Robert Nitchman, who came, as a business rescue, have just disappeared and left, the community with these, bleedings and ravaged land. So we are in talks with, Department of Mineral Resources in help, by Center of Environmental Rights, the so-called CER. They are playing a very vital role to rescue, in particular, the people of Mpumalanga and around, South Africa.
How many people are we looking at that are directly affected, in your view, particularly in Mpumalanga, by disused mines?
It's so difficult, to get exactly the number. But what I know for a fact is that hundreds of thousands of people, of Mpumalanga people, are directly affected, by this, abundance and unrehabilitated mines.
All right, Philani, we're going to have to leave it there. We certainly wish you the best in trying to get some kind of help for the people of Mpumalanga and other parts of the country, and that these mines are dealt with once and for all. Thank you so much for raising this issue and giving us your time.